And I remember the girls who were out back, they came in and they said, oh my goodness, these two blokes paddled out and just had this sort of shocking moment of realisation that they were suddenly in this pack of women. And they sort of looked decidedly uncomfortable, were looking around as if to say, what have they sort of just swum into?
Tables have been turned.
and promptly paddled off.
Yeah, see, when you put it like that.
Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On this episode, we speak to the founder of Wave Wahines, Yevette Curtis.
Yeah, she was real nice, real easy to speak to, and just full of information of stuff she's doing for Wave Wahines and young women, women of all ages in North Devon.
Yeah, she's totally inspiring, a role model for so many people, especially, like you said, women and people from ethnic minorities. She's a real force for good in the surfing community.
Yeah, brilliant interview, brilliant story. Here we go.
Okay, well, hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm Yvette and I founded and run girls surf club Wave Wahines. We started 4 years ago, so now into our 5th year, and we now also have lots of women in our group, so it's women and girls.
So what made you want to start up a women's surf group?
My eldest daughter, Aaliyah, she was 12 at the time when we started, and she wanted to surf a lot more, obviously because of where we live. We're based in Croyd, and I am abysmal at surfing. I'm really, really awful, and there was no way that I could teach her anything, not that she would listen to me much anyway. So we had a bit of a look around at the local surf clubs, and obviously that age for a teenage girl, it can be quite intimidating, and the surf clubs were very much boy heavy. So I'm by trade a personal trainer and have been for sort of over a decade now. So I've built up my own business and quite comfortable with that. So I thought, let's have a little look around and have a talk to the surf schools and a couple of the female surf coaches we know, like Karma and Liv and Surf Southwest. And lo and behold, they were sort of really keen to support us way back when. And the club was born because I thought, I can't be the only parent who has this. And Wave Wahines has been going strong ever since.
That's quite interesting, that, because I presumed, as I think as everyone else did, that you were an amazing surfer, and that's how it was all. How it all came about.
That's really surprised me, actually. I thought you were going to.
Oh my God, no! You should see me try. I've been trying for about the past. Oh God, I had my first surf lesson when I turned 30, and I've been 10 years trying to get better, and I'm still in the white water. Still trying to get up onto my feet all the time, and still pretty awful, but I absolutely love every second of falling off, thank goodness, because that is what I do most.
That's it. That's the same as us, but 20 years of doing the same thing, I think, so it never gets any easier. Can you remember that point of starting to do it, and then did you get a point where you sort of fell in love with the ocean and fell in love with surfing, or?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to be by the sea, because I grew up in Bristol, and I've always wanted to live down here. And then sort of 10 or 11 years ago, we moved. And I've been obviously wanting to be closer to the sea, and I love it. I'm not sure it loves me back all the time, but I certainly enjoy being part of the ocean. And I cold water swim with another sort of group for women over in Heel. So I do spend a lot of my time in the ocean, and my partner is an avid surfer. So I think if I didn't have some kind of affinity with the ocean, we probably wouldn't be together now. So
yeah, I've seen him surf. He's not too bad either, actually, is he?
Yeah, he's not too shabby. I wouldn't let him try and teach me though.
Yeah, exactly the same.
So I've seen on Instagram the surf club runs like throughout the day as well, doesn't it? And there's people come every day, and like the membership looks looks like got quite a lot of members down there, really.
Yeah, we run 3 sessions a week. So we run 2 in the daytime, which are Mondays and Tuesdays. So that's sort of Mondays is our over 30s group, and then Tuesdays lunchtimes we do an over 18s with no upper age limit. So obviously a lot of our over 30s go to the Tuesday, and then on Tuesday night we have our girls group, which range from ages 8 to 16. And yeah, we're just getting more and more, especially coming out of lockdown. It's just, it's gone through the roof, really. Yeah. So it's been amazing. I think people are really appreciating their sort of local nature, really, and being outside.
Yeah, realising that, when lockdown is, or when you're in the throes of lockdown, you kind of look at your life a little bit more, don't you? And then I suppose people are looking to do something they've always wanted to do, and it sounds like that's surfing for a lot of people, especially if you live down there. Like I struggle to understand why you wouldn't be a surfer living down there. So,
do you know what? You'd be surprised. I mean, obviously, I would never ever class what I do as surfing ever, but I flail about quite a lot and enjoy it. But certainly in our over 30s group, that has been a really common thread of sort of things we found out, is that most of the women who have never surfed before, and that's quite a lot of them, wouldn't have tried it if it wasn't for our club. And they've always kind of, especially the ones that have lived here all their lives, they've said, I can't believe we've never surfed. And we're sort of, 35, 36, and they absolutely love it. But it's just, you kind of get to a point, I think, where you go, oh no, I'm way too old for this. I've had, far too big to get in a wetsuit and this and that. And there's always an excuse or a reason or a barrier that puts you off. Yeah. And I think we've worked really, really hard to try and take away those barriers for sort of women and for the girls to participate in our club.
Yeah, I mean, my wife had her first lesson. I think I saw you at the Wave that day, and she had her first lesson. She's 42 years old. She'll kill me for saying that.
I know, I love that. I was so pleased. I listened to the podcast afterwards just to see how she got on, and what made me laugh was I think she's like, and it tastes really different. Oh my God, she's so right. It's so weird not having just tasting seawater. It's really odd.
Yeah, no,
and I think you ripped it out of her a little bit, going, "What are you doing, drinking the water?"
No, she does.
Yeah,
she
I totally got
everything.
it.
She does. She if she picks something up and she'll smell it and she'll be like that, and she has to taste it, and you're like, stop tasting things.
Stop eating food off the floor. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's like,
I'm not that extreme, but yeah, I totally understood what she was saying.
Because it might sound like a little bit of a stupid, you've answered the question a bit already, but I saw something posted the other day, and I've always thought, why do you need a girl specific surf club? And I saw something the other day, and I can't remember what the lady's name was who was talking about it, and she was an ex-pro surfer, and she was saying about the the stigma and the
yeah, she was saying she didn't have a very good time as a pro surfer, did she? Yeah. And then a lot of the thing that she had an issue with was when she came out of the water on the pro circuit, and she'd have to give her board to a model, and then they would take photos, and it was kind of like trying to create this image around surfing, what a female surfer should look like. And I
can't remember who was that. I
can't remember either. It was last week, wasn't it?
As well.
Yeah, but it was really kind of enlightening, because I suppose it is kind of a bit of a male-dominated sport, isn't it? Really, and even kind of recreationally as well.
Yeah, it's huge. That's it really is massively male-dominated, even still. And, and predominantly sort of white males as well. So, there's just such a lack of diversity out there, whether it's sort of ethnicity or whether it's gender. It is really, it's quite a one size fits all when you look at it, but it's not when you're out there sort of doing it. I think you just need to create something that is welcoming, because, it's intimidating. It really is intimidating to go to a beach, put on a wetsuit, especially if you've never done it, and kind of go, right, what do I do now? Or even just go to a surf school and kind of, as a woman of a certain age, which I am, I would certainly find it intimidating to do that by myself. And so I think by creating a club that is specifically for women and girls, it gives them a space immediately. And that's not to say that suits everybody. There's plenty of women and girls out there who do have the confidence and who are happy to go and do that by themselves, but that's great. More power to those that can do that, but that shouldn't exclude those that really want to, but are intimidated by it, So, and I think that's kind of where we come in, is we just create something that's really positive and just really, really sort of non-judgmental and really non-competitive as well.
Yeah, you can see that as well from not only the pictures like you put on Instagram, but the words that go with it. Your passion for everything you're doing actually comes through on those posts as well, which is it's really nice to see that actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, you must be quite proud about that. The fact that you're giving women who wouldn't normally try surfing the chance to try surfing, and you kind of can see what surfing does for people. And like you said, you're in the white water, and yet you're still getting that buzz from it and that stoke from being in the white water. So, giving somebody else the opportunity to do that as well, or give them that feeling it must be a great thing.
It is. There's not a session that goes by where I don't sort of come out going, yeah, that was so good.
Well, that's the thing that everyone gets, isn't it? And I bet you can see the change in them before they go in and when they come out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We have one of my friends in particular. She's been a friend for a long time. She sort of has days where I'll sort of message her and she's like, "Is it happening today?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And she goes, "Oh, well, I'm a bit like," and I'll come and pick you up. That's it. You're not getting out of it.
Yeah.
Because I know that she's obviously having a bit of a bad day. But I also know 100% that once she gets in the water, she's just going to be full of smiles. And every time that happens, she's always like, "Oh, thanks for coming to pick me up. I really needed it. I just needed a bit of a sort of kick up the bum."
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like we get like that as well. I mean, we get like that sometimes. One of us is like, "Oh, I really can't be bothered," and it's slightly different because we've got a bit of a drive as well. So it's
of course.
We're like, "Oh."
But every time we go, never regret it, ever. No. There's never been one session you've gone, "God, I wish we wouldn't drive down."
Even when he's like slicing me with his fins or something like that, you still never regret it. It's always it's always a great time.
So for sure.
So when people come to your club, do you train them to go like as they progress and they get better? Do you help train them to get to like kind of the next level and the next stage in surfing?
Yeah, we do. Obviously, the club runs from Surf Southwest, so they supply all of our coaches, which are amazing. And I think I have been told that sometimes the coaches fight over who gets to coach Wahines because it's one of their favourite sessions, which I'm really pleased about. But there's so much high energy that it's fantastic. But we obviously ensure that to keep everyone coming back, that there's always that progression if they want it. So there's always a coach out back, and we're getting more and more of the women and the girls getting to that point where they want to be pushing it further and doing more. And then we're now sort of, the coaches are now taking them further out the back, teaching them a little bit more about the lineup and how to pick where they take off, where to sit, where to wait, about the etiquette. So yeah, they're definitely getting that progress all the time. And I think they've sort of, well, I'm on it, so I know it's happened, but they've got like a WhatsApp group of when people are going surfing. And so now this community that started as a club is now forming into what I wanted is this amazing community of women that are messaging each other, going, "Oh, anyone fancy going in at Putts tonight or Woolacombe?" And they're all surfing loads together anyway.
That's amazing.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's just what it's all about, isn't it? As I was trying to say, it is as Leighton said, a very male-dominated sport. But coming from a guy's point of view, I've never even entered my head to think about it.
That's probably what the problem is, though.
Yeah, I think that is it, because it's not. I've ever thought, oh, why do they need a women's club, or why is it just men, or what? It's never even entered my head, and I think that's growing up through like skateboarding and surfing, and it's just sort of the culture sort of tends to mix a lot, where it's just nobody really, once you're in the water, you get the odd one, but nobody really cares. Like,
yeah, it's because you're a man, aren't you? So it's not affecting you, and that's why you're not even thinking about it, Yeah. So
that's right. You're absolutely right there, Leighton. It's definitely if it doesn't affect you, you don't really think about it and you don't see it.
Yeah.
But it's quite funny because we did a photo. There was like a dawn photo thing with King of Kooks Media.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like a month or so ago, I think. There's like the film on their Instagram, I believe. But it was like 5 a.m. or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And and it was to kind of do a girls and women shoot. And obviously it was just, if you want to go out, come out, let's all go out at sort of 5:30. And honestly, it was amazing. There were like 20, 25 women who went out with their boards. And I remember the girls who were out back, they came in and they said, oh my goodness, these two blokes paddled out and just had this sort of shocking moment of realization that they were suddenly in this pack of women. And they sort of looked decidedly uncomfortable. Were looking around as if to say, what have they sort of just swum into?
Tables have been turned.
and promptly paddled off.
Yeah, see, when you put it like that, that makes perfect sense. But, as you're just saying then, it's not anything I've ever, I'm trying to explain it properly what I mean, but not anything I've ever gone out my way thinking of, like, if there's a girl surfing or if there's a guy surfing, it makes no difference to me. But as you explain that like that makes a huge difference, and it must be so intimidating as a woman to paddle out into a group of guys if you're surfing.
Yeah, especially when they can be quite aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, some of them can be very aggressive. Yeah.
I think that's it, and that's why it's really nice that the girls now all get together and surf together. So there's never that, oh, we're just going on our own. There's always someone with you, which is just gives you that confidence. Yeah,
that's definitely. That's just, nothing but good things can come of it. There was also an epic photo, or one of the videos on that King of Kooks media, where, wasn't there, was a dolphin jumped out the back as someone was surfing?
Yeah, there was a dolphin with DJ. That was amazing.
What a great time to have a camera crew there with you.
Yeah, we tend to, only go in the water when we're followed by like a massive film crew. That's what we do.
So you guys were at the Adaptive Surf competition a couple of weeks ago, volunteering, is that right? How did that come about?
Well, I obviously follow Surfing England. I used to work for them. So as soon as the call went out on social media for volunteers, I think we were driving back from, weirdly, might have actually been driving back from the Wave anyway. And so I was there in the car, Steve was driving, and I'm there sort of filling in the volunteer forms straight away. So, because we know that it gets really, really oversubscribed with people wanting to help.
Oh,
which is great though.
That's
but we
amazing.
Wanted to kind of get in there first. So we sent our applications off super early. And obviously I've got, a fair amount of experience of helping people and being in the water with people. And it was my daughter that came with me in the end as the other assistant. And she's now a fully qualified coach. And she volunteers with Wave Project. So she's got loads of experience. So she was a great person to have there as well.
Yes, she's 17, 18, isn't she?
She's 17, yeah, she'll be 18 in April.
Yeah, and fully qualified coach already.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you've got to be super proud.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I'm like beaming now. I'm so very proud of her. She's quite an amazing young lady, and she is fully qualified. And yes, I'm hoping that will sort of inspire her to go on travels when she's sort of 18 and finish college and kind of take a year out to just, travel the world with a qualification where she can coach, she can work. And it should hopefully take her around the globe.
Yeah, and she'll be able to surf in all the incredible spots that you see in the magazines as well then. Oh, incredible.
Exactly. That's what we're aiming for. I'm hoping that she's going to end up, maybe doing some volunteer work with like the Aragon Bay Surf Girls Club in Sri Lanka would be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Or working out and doing some stuff with Surfers Not Street Children, sort of charities that we have sort of quite close allyships with would be really nice.
Yeah, there's many of them.
Quite a lot of charities in the surfing community actually. Now you're saying all those, you're kind of thinking, oh my God, yeah, it's like a lot of surfers want to do good and give back, and I really like that.
I think what you're saying, and I've been a perfect example of it in this, is if it doesn't affect you, you don't notice it, you don't see it. And as you're saying these charities and things, you're like, oh yeah, there is loads of them in there. So there's got to be.
Maybe we should get involved a bit more.
There is that, but there's got to be much more of an issue than we actually see.
Mm. Yeah. So you also, tell me if I've got this wrong or not, but you also got nominated for a Sportswoman Award, is that right?
I did, yeah. I was nominated and reached the sort of final four shortlisting for the 2019 Sunday Times Sportswoman of the Year Grassroots Award. Which was unbelievable. it was such a crazy. I mean, I think I found out like this time last year that I'd been sort of nominated and selected as their final four.
I voted for you.
Which was, did you? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I did. But how did that come about then? How was it?
Did somebody put you forward?
I mean, I just got a phone call at like 10 o'clock at night or something ridiculous from the lovely Rebecca Myers at the Sunday Times. And I'd been avoiding this call because it's one of those where you're like, oh my God, that's not in my phone book. I'm not going to, who's that? And then I had a text message from the number saying who they were. And I thought, oh my God, it's me blanking them all day. And so I sort of spoke to her, and I remember my daughter was sat next to me, and they told me, and I just, oh my goodness, I was just trying desperately not to wake the kids up from upstairs, but I was so excited. It was unbelievable. And then we had sort of this crazy period of time where the Sunday Times came down to do interviews and photo shoots, and then me and Aaliyah went to London for the actual award ceremony.
Yeah,
wow,
it looked like an amazing time.
That must make you really proud, actually, that you're being recognised for what you're doing and what you've done in the past as well. That must be a really nice feeling.
It was so cool because, like I said, my business is in PT, so that's how I sort of pay the bills, and that's how I do my sort of work. So Wahines actually is just because it needs to be there and because I love doing it. It doesn't actually sort of fund anything.
Yeah.
But it brings so much joy that I couldn't not do it. So I think to sort of have that recognition that actually the people that we're touching, it really does have an impact on their lives, and so much so that they've gone out of their way to either nominate and then to vote. It's been, it was amazing. And we obviously, my daughter got to have a picture with Dina Asher-Smith, which was quite amazing.
Oh. Yeah, a bit made up by that. So you've got Mum of the Year awards for a long time now.
Yeah, this is it. All the times I nag her to do the dishwasher, she's like, no, Mum. Like, hey, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have met Dina Asher-Smith.
So where did the name come from then? The Wave Wahines.
One of my girlfriends actually. We were just sat talking about this all those years ago, and I said I just need to come up with a cool name, but I don't want it to be like something that says surf in it and be really obvious.
Was that a dig at us then?
She's quite a good marketer, so no disrespect. I just realised what I said there. It's right, you can edit that out.
Leave it in, it's fine. Anyone digging at us is fine. It's honestly, we don't mind.
And she just said, why don't we look at sort of, Hawaiian words, and actually Wahine means woman or girl from Polynesia. So it was the perfect thing. So then just to put, a Wave Wahine is essentially a girl or woman of the water.
Wave girls, yeah, brilliant.
Do you have members coming from further afield? The reason I ask is my partner loves surfing, but she would really love to be part of the club, but we live like an hour and a half away. Do you have any members coming further afield?
We've had girls coming from Exeter, coming from Taunton, Somerset. Yeah.
Oh, great! I'll let her know. Because
she's very welcome.
Yeah, she'll be over the moon because she's desperate to kind of meet like-minded women really and get in the water with them. So she'll be over the moon about that. So what's in store for the future of Wave Wahines? Have you got anything planned or? Yeah,
we've got loads sort of on the back burner. Loads of things in the pipeline. We've got a couple of funding applications in because I don't know if you saw the Spotlight piece that was on trying to encourage more women and girls from BAME backgrounds into surfing. There's a massive disparity in women of colour in surfing. So it was kind of to try and attract more women like myself. I'm a woman of colour, so I've headed up this group. So it's really bizarre for me to find that we only have maybe like 2 or 3 other women of colour in our group. Yeah. We regularly have 30 people in our clubs. So I kind of really wanted to focus on that as well. And I work quite sort of closely with, the amazing people in the States, like Black Girl Surf. And, we have good relations with Textured Waves, trying to promote that. So we've been looking at funding to run a course specifically to find out why there's those barriers, if there are those barriers, and to kind of reach out. And our other sort of stream of projects for hopefully 2021 onwards is working with, we've been in sort of a series of talks with North Devon against domestic abuse, and we really want to run projects with them for North Devon to look at their women and their women who come out of domestic violence situations with children as well, and use surfing as a form of family reconnection and empowerment for those women that aren't with children, and just a kind of a freeing moment, because, you know, I'm sure you guys understand that when you're in the sea, it's all about being in the present. There's nothing that can kind of distract you from what you're doing, because it's so moving and it's constant, and you have to react to what's going on around you. So you don't have time to sit and think about what you've been through, what's happening, what you're doing, you know, all those things. It's very present, and it's very freeing for your mind to kind of not focus on other stuff. So we kind of want to use it in that way. And we've spoken to the Wave in Bristol and Surf Sisters down in Cornwall as well, and we've sort of got them on board for another couple of years if we can get sort of funding secured for that. So we've got a few really good initiatives as far as sort of some charity work we'd like to do. But as far as the regular running of the club, we love how it works. We're going to continue with the way it is, but we really want to introduce a little bit more of a progressive style for those women and girls that want to maybe move into more elite surfing and competitions. So between sort of Karma and myself, because Karma used to surf for Great Britain, so I think, you know, she's got the surf knowledge and the competition knowledge, and I've got the sort of training and sort of the sports side of it, the coaching side of it. I've got that. So I think between us, we could probably create something quite special.
Yeah, so you've got a pretty rounded package there, where you can have people from the very beginning, as you say, progressing right up to that level of being able to surf for England. That's, you know, what more could you want from a club, really?
Yeah. Well, what you're doing with the charity side of things, and you know, as surfing's being used as a therapy, that is just kind of incredible, isn't it? And we've said about it before, like the feeling that you have when you're surfing. Like you said, you can only be in the present. There's so much going on in the water, and your brain needs to process so much that is nearly impossible to think about anything else. And I can't think of anything else that I've ever tried that kind of immerses you like that. So using it as a therapy, like some of the people that are going through a really rough time, that is just bliss for them, isn't it? To have that, you know, an hour break from what's going on in their life is just going to be really, really valuable. So what you're doing is just fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Do you know when this is going to go out? Because I've got something really exciting. I don't want to ruin their surprise.
That's all right. It's going to go out in. Hold on, Wednesday.
So
5 Shapers is the 1st of November. So
middle of November. Middle of November.
Oh, awesome! Oh, that's perfect. It's really, really. I love it. I'm so excited by this. But on the sort of discussion of surfing as therapy, it's really sweet. We obviously got, you know, many women and girls who have gone through all sorts of things on a personal level, and it's been really lovely to kind of hear those stories and be part of their sort of recovery. But one in particular really stands out to me, and I think you'll find it on our Instagram or our Facebook anyway. It was a little girl called Sophie, and she wrote a poem about what Wave Wahines and what surfing means to her.
Oh yeah, I saw
and she wrote it to go and get a Blue Peter badge.
Yeah.
And this morning I had a message from her mum with a photo of the letter from Blue Peter and her Blue Peter badge. And the reason she's found surfing and enjoys our club so much was because she very sadly lost her dad just over a year ago. And she's been surfing with us every single week since then.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing how surfing can do so much, and it is such great therapy for so many people. Like we always say, we reckon everyone should try surfing, or everyone should just get in the ocean. Yeah, you know.
And I absolutely agree. That poem makes me cry all the time, and I'm just like, oh my god! Now she's got this Blue Peter badge, which I think her mum's giving to her tonight. So I'm like, yay! So it's very exciting.
Oh, that's what you did want to say. Oh, good for her.
We'll post that on our social media when this one comes out as well then. So
yeah, well done, Sophie.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so do you think after, like, as you're saying, there's a little girl there surfing, do you think anyone can surf? Is never too, like, we get this question a lot, am I too old to start surfing? And the answer we always say is no, never.
Nope, definitely not. We have, I think, the most mature lady we've had join us for her first ever surf was 71.
Amazing. Wow. Oh, that's so cool.
I know. I'm still blown away by that, but we regularly have women in their 60s surfing with us, and certainly in their 50s.
That's so cool.
That's amazing, isn't it?
See, the thing is nowadays, when you think of like an old person, they were young in like the 70s and stuff now, like in the 60s. You know, that's when it was that's a cool time to be young. So, you know, there's not, it's not like the same type of old person that you would be when we were kids, you know, when they were kind of...
Do you think there is, but we're just older?
No, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I'm with you on this one. I think when we were younger, our age was probably really old, and now we're at our age, we go, no, it's not old.
No, I know what he's trying to say. Like, music was different and better. And,
like they're growing up with, you know, the Rolling Stones and, you know, Led Zeppelin and stuff. You know, it's not like they're growing up with these kind of old-fashioned. Like,
that's not music.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm not doing a very good job of getting through. I'm probably just offending everybody.
Yeah, just offending everybody, and he's just trying to get out of the fact that he's now old and he can't take it.
Yeah, I'm struggling, I must admit.
No, that's amazing. So, what do you think the key things that people get that come to your club? What are the key things they get out of their surf lessons and experiences?
Yeah, like a kind of promotional little snippet for people who might be thinking about trying it.
I would personally say they get community, they get support, they get a really salty sense of love, which is great. They get lots of hugs times when we were allowed to hug each other, obviously. Now they get like a high five if they're lucky.
High elbows,
but they get
bumps.
lots and lots of support, lots and lots of friendship, lots of love, no judgment. They get totally, you know, ensconced in this family from the minute you join. You know, from the second you walk through the surf school, it's just immediate, you know, chat and banter, and you know, it's just a wonderful thing. And we're actively sort of trying to reclaim the language as well as a positive. So we've recently changed our logo, which was sort of fitness, fun and friends, to surf like a girl, because you know, of course we're going to surf like girls. We are them. So,
yes.
You know, so we're just trying to turn everything into positivity for all those groups that are marginalized through surfing and feel that there's no space for them. You know, whether that's women, that's girls, whether that's people of color, whether that's people who are queer. You know, we work with the Queer Surf Club again for the same thing. So I just think they find a community and family with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're speaking to the Queer Surf Club soon.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Yeah.
Are you? Oh my God, he's amazing.
Yeah, really looking forward to having him on.
He's so nice. He reached out to me after the Bane piece went live, and I got absolutely trolled with loads of racist crap. So,
really?
He reached out to me after that through a mutual friend, and
it was
really,
really
lovely.
What was that happened? Sorry.
Oh, the project that I sort of was talking about with trying to increase more BAME women and girls into surfing. Yeah. It was put out as a spotlight piece on BBC Spotlight.
Yeah.
And it received such atrocious trolling on their page that they had their media leaders had to step in and just remind everybody that racism and bullying isn't allowed on their page. So it was quite a tough sort of 24, 48 hours once that aired.
With everything that's going on at the moment, and like the COVID and everybody kind of feeling that you need to come together, and the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that, you cannot believe that people still do stuff like that, can you? It's absolutely mad.
I know, it was just really quite soul destroying. You know, I'm 40 now, and I remember, you know, having words shouted at me when I was a kid. I remember my parents having their tires slashed through all of that, and you sort of think, Jesus, have we really are we still there? Are we still having this conversation? And it's quite disheartening at times, but you've got to just keep on going and keep discussing it, no matter how uncomfortable it makes people feel. You've got to change. It's got to change.
Yeah, see, that's another thing where I think you get the same thing as we said earlier. If it doesn't affect you, you don't realise. And I think there is more people that I speak to, like myself, who are not as aware of these things, because it's never been something that's entered my head, and it's never been something that I've really been faced with either. So
yeah,
I always thought, like, in surfing and skating, there's not really any racism, there's not really any homophobia, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. And I think that might have just been the people that I've surrounded myself with, who have not actually, it's never affected any of us. None of us have, it's never bothered us, like, what you were, who you are, or anything like that.
Yeah, and it's not, you're not, but the reason why that's not in your head is because you're not racist or homophobic or anything like that, so it's not even an issue to you. And because you're not
exactly, and you wouldn't assume that the people that you're with, share those same sort of, or you'd assume that they share the values you share. But the reality is, sadly, probably not everybody does, and that's becoming more increasingly aware out there at the moment with the Black Lives Matter movement. We spoke with I think we were doing a meeting there actually during lockdown, and we had like an online Black Lives Matter movement with Sophie Everard as well, and that was huge. It's because it's such a big thing, and it yes, it's uncomfortable, but if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you need to look at why. And I think it's such an important topic that I'm really quite passionate about certain things, and female empowerment is huge to me. It's really, really important, and it's always in my sort of thought process as to when I'm doing anything. As is diversity and inclusion. They're things that really, really matter. So I think surfing should be this platform that is welcoming to everybody, and the fact that it's not, we should as a community look at why it's not and how to change that. And I'm hoping sort of through clubs like ours, through clubs like Queer Surf Club, and there's so many out there, that I just think we can make those changes together as a community, and it's really important that we do. Yeah,
well, anybody who's got any issues with homophobia, race or anything, they're not welcome by us, and they cannot listen to us as far as we care. And I say, I probably sort of put off some of your listeners as soon as you suddenly start going, oh my God, Black Lives Matter. That's it. People go, right, delete. So I apologise in advance.
No, we're
not at all.
No.
Can I ask you? It's like a personal question on that. Then, how did you actually feel then when all that was going on? All that kickback from that Spotlight thing.
I felt really sad. I felt really, I guess, I just guess I felt quite like vulnerable. I'm normally, I'm sure if you ask sort of my partner and my family, I'm quite strong. I'm quite robust, and I'm pretty bloody minded. And I'm sure they'd probably use harsher language than that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I found it really difficult to deal with. I found it really hurtful that there's people in sort of the area that I live in that are voicing these opinions, and it made me kind of go, oh my goodness, is that how people view me? So yeah, it did kind of really freak me out for, like I said, 24, 48 hours, where I had a real low couple of days and feeling really upset and feeling that I put my entire family in the spotlight by doing that. And then I suddenly, had loads of messages from my friends, and obviously, Steve and the girls were amazing, and all the people that actually know me and the people that count were just like, well, that's just rubbish. These are just people who have no idea, have far too much time on their hands, and quite frankly should keep their views to themselves. But obviously they need the education. But yeah, it was a really tough few days there, and it's sort of, it's hard to talk about. It gets me quite upset, and I do feel quite angry.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do about that other than just go, right, okay, so that happened. I still believe what I'm doing is right. I still think it's the right thing to do, and it still needs to be talked about, and I'm still going to do it. I'm not going to sort of be silenced by bullies. What sort of a person would I be if I let a bully dictate how I behave and what I talk about?
No,
absolutely.
That's
well,
brilliant.
you're being a fantastic role model for your children, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So-
not just your children, for a lot
Thank
of...
you. I'll make sure that we record that a bit and I'll play it back. Look, they said I'm a role model for you all. So do as you're told.
Fill up the dishwasher.
It's the it's not just your own children though. It sounds like, there's other children out there, and a lot of women in your community that you are becoming a fantastic role model for, and everything you're doing and stand for is absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate that.
What would you say then if you had to start it all again from the very beginning? What would you do differently?
Oh my goodness, what would I do differently? I would probably start the over 30s club a couple of years sooner. The kids club obviously started 4 years ago, so back in 2016. The over 30s just came as a bit of an experiment with Devon Girls Can, part of this Girl Can campaign in February 2019. I was doing everything I could because it's one of those things. Like I said, I don't make any money, so I thought, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to give up another night.
Yeah.
All these women were saying, can we have a club? And I delayed, and then we got a little bit of funding to put on some free sessions, so we did, and we had the first one in the last Sunday of February last year, and I was thinking, no one's going to turn up, no one's going to be there. 16 women showed up, and I was like, oh my god, where have these women all come from? And they came every week. We had 24 by the end of the 3 weeks.
Wow.
And from that sort of moment on, they were just like, please, can you keep this going? And I spoke immediately to Surf Southwest and the guys there, and they've been so supportive over the years of all that we're doing. And they just said, yeah, absolutely, of course, let's get the diaries out, and that's it. So I would probably start the over 30s much sooner, because I can see the level of community and so that level of love that's brought.
Yeah, definitely. How difficult is it then to find funding for a club? Is it very difficult, or?
Yes.
Simple answer. Yes.
We're lucky in that we're self-funded, so that we ensure that all the sort of fees to come, they cover all our coaching costs. But again, one of the key things was to keep it affordable.
Yeah.
So it is only £10 per child, and for the adults it's either 15 ad hoc or £10 if you book for 4 sessions.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculously cost effective for the girls surfing, when surf lessons normally 1-to-1 would cost you, anywhere from £40 plus.
Yeah.
So that was the key. We want it to be accessible to, people from, those lower socioeconomic backgrounds too. So we do try and keep it at that cost. And then to get funding, we've struggled, but we have been really fortunate the past 2 years. We've had some really nice funding from Devon Girls Can. We've had some funding from local charity set up called Fullerbrook as well. And we had funding recently during lockdown, actually, from Sport England, which is fantastic to sort of be on their radar. It's always really, really nice that they sort of supported us through that period, because it's really, you didn't know whether we were going to come back from lockdown at all. So it was really nice to have that support.
Yeah, no, that was, I think lockdown was one of, in a good way, people got a lot of stuff done that they needed to get done. All the emails went off, all the admin work got done. But I can remember I know it's a terrible thing to say, but I can remember sitting there through lockdown and seeing the surf forecast and just going, oh my God, it's like everyone wasn't allowed out, and it just went epic for about 2 weeks solid.
It did. It was so tortuous. Like, I think living down here as well, because we actually live in walking distance from Croyd Beach. So, well, not me. I don't tend to just suddenly get my wetsuit on and run down the road. But certainly Steve and Aaliyah do. They'll sort of leg it out the house with their boards and they're off.
Oh, they live in the dream.
So, yeah, it was really hard for them in lockdown. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Also, you have a congratulations, because I believe you recently got engaged. I saw it on your. I did see it on your, and I saw a whittling woodpecker carving going out there. I'm not a stalker, honestly.
I did get engaged. Oh God, 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks ago now. So yeah, it was.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Martin was in on that little secret. Thank you very much.
Yes. So I believe you asked the gentleman as well, didn't you?
Well, absolutely. What sort of empowered woman would I be if I didn't?
That's good. Yeah, that's really good. Well, fair play. That.
Well, yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. The reason, well, we've been trying to get you on here since the start, and I think you were one of the first person that I spoke to when we said we were going to start a podcast, and I'm sorry it's taken you so long. It's taken us ages to get everything in order.
Yeah,
but
I think between sort of you guys working all the time, and then the 3 kids here and stuff, and me and Steve always back
life
and
gets
forth.
in the way, doesn't it?
It's been quite a feat.
Yeah. But it's been absolutely incredible to speak to you.
It has. I just wanted to just to say, if anybody's listening that wants to get involved and join the club, do you want to let them know where they can contact you?
Yeah, sure. You can find us. We've got a website, so that's wavewahines.co.uk, or you can find us at Wave Wahines on Instagram, at Wave Wahines on Twitter, and we also have a Facebook page. So we are on pretty much all social media coming at you.
And have you got a fundraising page, GoFundMe or anything like that?
No, we don't. We did have one before for one of our initial domestic abuse projects. So we may well set up another one. And if we do, I will forward it to you guys.
That's
and you
right.
can, you can sort of bang the drum for us as well. Would be amazing.
Yeah, well, any of your projects that are coming up, just let us know and we'll do what we can. And good luck with them all. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much, guys, for having me. I really do appreciate it. It's been great to talk to you both.
Thanks for that, Yvette. I'm going to say it. I know I say it every time, but I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one too. She was really nice. Yeah, so easy to talk to. So I felt like it just flowed, and it was just a nice conversation. But like she was saying, some of the stuff she's had to go through and like backlash she got,
that's kind of shocked us about it, didn't it?
Yeah, that totally threw me because stuff like that doesn't even enter my head.
No,
and I don't know why or how people would. I don't know.
That's because you don't feel like that. You don't think in a negative way, so it's not in your head. But like what she's doing is a good thing for not only for the people that she's helping, but for like people like us who don't have any experience of that. It's an eye opener because that's why we were so shocked.
Yeah, I think it is, as you say.
She's not just helping the people like the Wave Wahines is like a women's surf group. She's not just helping the women. Yeah, she's helping people realise that there is an issue, maybe, and women do feel like it's male dominated, and so that's what shocked us.
Brilliant. Like stuff that I took from that interview was really like eye opening. Like, I've never even thought about how it must feel as a like lone woman surfing out into a group of blokes.
When she made the when she said that she was all the girls are right there for the photo shoot, and there was 2 male surfers out there, and they looked intimidated. That is the total role reversal, then, and they didn't like it. So you have got.
What would you do though? Like if you paddled out and there's just a load of women there, you'd be like that. How you doing? No, but what would you be like?
Well, I'm probably the same as you. Like, it wouldn't enter my head that there was a problem anyway. I'd probably be like, oh, right, it's just like surfer, somebody on a board, surfer. Yeah. And it doesn't really matter if they're male, female, or an ethnic minority. I just see surfer. Yeah. And that's what I think, and I think what we both think all surfers feel like and are like, but maybe they're not.
Yeah, that's our normal though, isn't it? Because I think that's it. Normal is only what you know. That's that's right, our normal. So it's really good to have someone that's like opens your eyes like that. You know.
Yeah, total inspiration and a real role model for a lot of people.
Definitely for not only the young girls and women from around that club, but someone like that, role model for a lot of people. Really, really nice woman. And when I met her at the Wave, she was lovely as well. She's just a nice, all-round nice person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, Yvette. Yeah. So we need to remind everybody about our Northcore discount code, don't we?
For you lovely people.
So go and grab your 15% off at The website, which is
northcore-europe.com, and use your promo code SurfShow15 and you'll get 15% off. I couldn't believe it. 15% off.
I know, it's quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really pleased because, you know.
They got earplugs on there now. I looked at them the other day and I was like, put the code in and it came down to like 20 quid. I was like, ooh.
That's because you got 15% off.
And then I put about another 50 things in the basket.
Ooh. That's the thing. When you get money off, you think, oh, and I can afford that.
Yeah.
And you put that in and that in, and before you know it, you spent more than...
You don't spend anything. You never buy.
I'm saying you.
Yeah. Great. What am I buying you? So, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. And, we did.
Yeah. As always, get in contact. You can find us on Instagram.
Yeah. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. If you could like and subscribe to any of those, leave a comment, leave a review, give us a follow. It all really does help.
And we like reading the comments.
We love reading comments, especially the nice ones. I haven't had any nasty ones yet. I look forward to them. They're going to come at some point.
Well, they're going to now. You've just tempted fate.
Yeah. Bring it. See you later.
Cheers.